Welcome to the 20th hour, a brand new weekly show with myself, Isa Ali, and my very special guest, Sayyid Ammar Nakshawani. Today being the first show, we are airing on a Sunday, but from now and every week, or after tonight, we will be every Saturday at 8 till 10, answering your questions and discussing the various different topics regarding the Ammar and the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam. And so I would like to first start by welcoming my dear guest and our honoured speaker and scholar, Sayyid Ammar Nakshawani, to the show. Assalamu alaikum, brother. I was very, very happy to be here with you today and to be able to, inshallah, continue to be spreading the message of the Ahlulbayt through the various media that we have. Today's topic of the show is Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam, who we just finished last week commemorating his martyrdom, the anniversary of his martyrdom. Imam as-Sadiq, as we know, was very well known as being a teacher of his time, of being the most knowledgeable person of his time. What is the importance of the role of the teacher within Islam and the responsibilities of such a position?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As we know, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam occupies a prominent position in every school of the religion of Islam. And you find that this position is one that has to be examined in depth by each and every Muslim in the world today. Unfortunately, his position has been undervalued and underestimated. And the fact that even within the English language there are many works which you can find which discuss the life of this great teacher. And like you said, the teacher occupies a prominent position in any society, as in each and every one of us has been affected by a teacher at one stage or another in our life, who affected the way we think, affected the way we talk, affected the way we interacted with others. And the religion of Islam is no different in praising and valuing the teacher. For number one, a teacher is a carrier of knowledge. And then you find number two, a teacher is someone who leaves a legacy behind within the society within which they've lived. They've been willing to sacrifice their time, not only to gain knowledge, but also to spread knowledge as well. And therefore you find within the Holy Quran, and even in the narratives, there are many great examples of teachers, as in was it not Prophet Musa alayhi salam, who found Khidr as a teacher for him. And likewise you find that when the Holy Prophet, within many of his narratives, as well as the Ahlulbayt, salawatullah wa salamu alayhima, many times would talk of the idea that whoever teaches you one letter has become a master. So our teachers in reality are masters towards us, because they've taught us more than one letter in our life. And a teacher really can make or break your future. As in, there are certain teachers really, they can make your future. There are others who may be a hindrance. But you find that when you have a great teacher in your life who is able to provide you with knowledge and with the principles and experiences, then without a shadow of doubt, that person becomes a leader in your life as well.
We will come back to the influence that Imam as-Sadiq had on his pupils. As you mentioned, a teacher can be a very influential figure for the rest of a person's life, and indeed the effect that Imam as-Sadiq had on the whole Muslim ummah is something we will definitely touch upon. What is the importance of knowledge? As you mentioned in your answer, you said that it's the influential position of a teacher within the society. So what about knowledge itself? What is the importance of such a thing in Islam?
Well, without a doubt, the religion of Islam, when you study many of the texts, be it the revealed texts or be it the narratives that we have with us until today, constantly stress on the importance of going out to gain knowledge. Constantly stress on the importance of understanding that those with knowledge and those without knowledge are two completely different categories of people within society. You find in one narrative it states knowledge is power. In another it says knowledge is a virtue. In a third narrative, for example, the Holy Prophet tells us, sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, that even if you have to go as far as China, go out and gain knowledge. Which means that even if you have to sacrifice to go out and travel, in order for you to go and gain knowledge, then that's a sacrifice you must undertake. Likewise, we find, for example, that we are told to seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. There are many Muslims in the world today who sought knowledge at a young age, but then stopped. It's as if either when they got married, they stopped learning, or you find when they got too busy at work, they stopped learning, whereas the Quran or the Hadiths kept on stressing on this idea of seeking knowledge from the cradle to the grave. So our role and responsibilities as Muslims is that first we earn knowledge, and then we save that knowledge, and then the third role is to disseminate that knowledge. Because knowledge isn't something to be hoarded by you, it's something which you should seek to disseminate to the people who surround you. In your capacity either as a teacher, or indeed as a member of a community, or indeed as a leader of a community.
And before we continue, because we are going to now touch on the actual life of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, I just want to remind the viewers that this is a live show, and if you wish to call and ask Sayyid Ammar any questions, even though the topic of tonight's show is Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, we will be able to answer most other questions inshallah tonight. So the number, if you want to call in live and speak to us, is 0208 900 1741. And inshallah, I'm hoping the brothers will be able to put that on the bottom of the screen. It's 0208 900 1741. And also, if you would like to, you can watch us live online, as we now have the live stream at www.ahlulbayt.tv. ahlulbayt.tv. So inshallah, we hope that you'll be joining us and calling us. To carry on with the discussion, so you've stressed the importance of knowledge in Islam, of the teacher in Islam. Let's go back to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam himself. As I mentioned before, we have just commemorated his passing, his martyrdom. Very simply, just so we get an understanding of who exactly Imam Sadiq was, who was he born to, how old was he when he became the Imam, just these kind of things.
Well, you find that when you study Imam Sadiq's life, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is of course the grandson of Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. And you find that his father was Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam, and his mother had the title of Farwa. And indeed you find that when you have a father or indeed a grandfather like Imam Zain al-Abidin and Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, the unbelievable environment that you are brought up in terms of knowledge and spirituality, is something quite unique. As in, if you look at Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, Imam al-Sadiq was alive during the imamate of Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. You find that he is the bastion of spirituality, without a doubt. That when you read the works within a Sahif al-Sajjadiyya, or even if you read Risalat al-Huquq, and you read du'as and supplications like Makarim al-Akhlaq, you find the Imam was able to take the source of spirituality from his grandfather. Likewise, you find that at the same time the Imam was able to take knowledge of many other sciences from his father, Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. That we have narrations which state that at a young age, Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam would be teaching the works of somebody like Aristotle. And Walid ibn Abdul Malik, when he would see Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam entering the class of his father, Walid would ask Imam al-Sadiq about the foundations of logic, and Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam would reply through Aristotle. And you found that Walid would be mesmerized at this person at such a young age. How does he have this type of knowledge? You found that Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam himself narrates that the first lessons I entered of my father, Imam al-Baqir, were lessons in relation to geography and astronomy. So you found that many times people imagine the Imams of Ahlulbayt, their lessons were restricted to jurisprudence, for example, and nothing more. But you find that when you study the biographies of the Imams, that their lessons spread to areas such as geography, areas such as astronomy. They wanted to show that the religion of Islam is a holistic way of life, which will discuss jurisprudence, which will discuss ethics, which will discuss theology, which will discuss geography, astronomy, of our own beliefs and the beliefs of others. As in when you're discussing the works of people like Ptolemy or people like Aristotle, you're opening the horizons of knowledge. So Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam is brought up in the bastions of knowledge. He's brought up with those who've inherited the message of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. And when people ask when was he born, I always say it's important for us to remember. Why? Because he's born on exactly the same day that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was born. There are many who, unfortunately, you find that when we remember the wilada of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they forget Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam was born on the same day. Whereas on the 17th of Rabi' al-Awwal, it's a day to celebrate the birth of the Prophet and the birth of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam.
Absolutely. We'll come back to this discussion. We actually have a caller online. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, brother. How are you?
Very good, brother. How are you?
Not too bad. Salam to Sayyid
Wa alaikum assalam.
It's good to see him on his channel also.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of questions. They're pretty random, actually.
Sure.
The first question I'd like to ask is regarding the different schools we have in Islam at the moment, and each claims to be following the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what I'd like to know is what makes the school of the Ahlulbayt Islam, different from everybody else. Why is it that the teachings, we take our teachings from the Ahlulbayt? That's the first question. The second question I'd like to ask is regarding the event of the calamity of Thursday. Some people say that why didn't the Holy Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him and his family, write a will out after the event of when he was refused to be given a pen and paper? Why wasn't the opportunity given to the Prophet after that to write that? Had it been so important? That's the second question.
Okay.
And the third question I'd like to ask